So President Lawrence, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. So I'll send out a third batch here in just a little bit. There's still some responses coming in, so I'll give it a little bit more time. I have sent you 2 batches already. I'd like to start with talking about our 2 candidates from tonight. So just like last night, we'll talk about the things that we heard that we were especially fond of. We'll talk about any of those wonders that we have. And when I call on you, if you've already heard everything that you were going to say, then I give you permission to pass. All right. So we'll start tonight with our 6 o'clock interview, which was Mr. Ben Schuldiner. And why don't we start with Dr. Body?
Thanks, Jay. So just as a spoiler, I asked to go first this time because yesterday I went last twice. And so I had to just basically say I agree with everybody else twice. So today I get to go first. So yesterday we wondered about whether a few of the candidates would be able to handle the political side of the job and not just the administrative side, because a big part of being superintendent is interfacing with the media, with local and state elected officials. And Mr. Schuldiner has an impressive background and array of experiences in dealing with multiple kinds of external stakeholders, including the media and politicians. And I would have, therefore, zero doubt in his ability to represent the district well externally. Talking specifically about some of the answers that really stood out to me, I really liked his answer about how he handled refugees in Norway, how he brought the community together and held meetings to dispel preconceived notions about Syrian refugees that were resettling there. Our district has a large refugee population that has barriers that they have to overcome, and there could certainly be some overlap in how those experiences would translate to Lansing. Next, I really liked the part of his answer when he was talking about visibility and accessibility, but he talked about something unique out of the answers we heard thus far, which was being there for taxpayers in the city who don't have kids in the district, but explaining to the taxpayers who live in the city how the district is using their money in a way that makes them feel proud to pay taxes to contribute to the well-being of the district, even if they don't have kids themselves who go to school here. And then, I liked how knowledgeable he was about the district and how he did his homework. Given that he's an external candidate, he seemed to have a lot of, he seemed to have taken the time to do a lot of research about specifics related to our budget, our programming, and that stood out to me as well. I liked how he talked about how every dollar should go towards student success. I liked how he talked about his unique skills in various different jobs that he's held, the fact that he himself was an elected school member in New York City. And then I really liked the line about the soft bigotry of low expectations. The single biggest obstacle to overcoming student achievement is tackling systemic racism and systemic classism. Just coming out and saying that directly was something that impressed me. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Body. Any wonders?
I wonder why Lansing. That's my wonder for him. I wonder why he came back a second time, that he really seems to want to be our superintendent. I wonder if he's ever visited Lansing, if he's ever spoken at MSU at a conference here, why he seems to be really excited about the opportunity to be our superintendent as opposed to a superintendent somewhere else.
Okay. Trustee Lopez.
Here. Yeah, okay. Dr. Body just had a whole lot of stuff that I was thinking about as well. He's well-traveled, has a lot of experience that could probably enthuse a lot of our students, in terms of himself, being the leader of the district. I like also the issue of working with, his work in the high school where he brought it from 22% graduation rate to 90%. That was great in a school of with students of color, the majority of them. So that was impressive. And looking at the responses from the community, I think they also have those things in mind. But I think the one question that I see more often is why Lansing? What's the deal? He's got so much going for him according to his resume that it seems a little odd that he would like to come to Lansing. But maybe he wants the small community other than compared to New York. I mean, who knows? But that would be interesting to find out at the second round. So I agree mostly with Dr. Body and with those other comments that I made. And the wonder is again why Lansing.
All right, thank you, Dr. Rodriguez.
Thank you very much. Because his answers were very long, then give him the opportunity to tell us everything. I was impressed by he was student-centered. What is good for the students, and I think that was his position. That if it's good for the students, we had to find a way to do it. Also, the same thing with the teachers. I like the answer about biggest obstacle to improvement to the students. And he said the students feel they are not supported. I think that is telling me, he didn't give me the solution, but at least he find out that we can do something about supporting the student. And I think that is what he did when he was in the high school. And maybe he wants to be too visible in the community and do a lot of things in every school every day. We had 24 schools and you visit one every day, then you don't have enough days in the month to do it. Then maybe he is not realistic in some of the answers. But I admire his experiences, and the way the enthusiasm that he put in everything, and I think that is good. About diversity, he said we had to understand and didn't go more. We had to appreciate, we had to love what is in everybody, what is in every culture. But in general, like he did last time, he gave the right answer to us.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Dr. Burrows.
My colleagues have covered most of his assets, so I won't spend time on those. There are a lot of them. The only two wonders that really come to mind that haven't been raised so far, one is I am concerned about the lack of work in an actual school district from a position of responsibility. And the other question I have is the totality of his experience is all with high schoolers or adults. And I don't know what his insight or background is with respect to elementary and middle school, to younger kids, because obviously a critical part of the district. Those are the only two things that leapt to mind during the interviews that I haven't heard mentioned so far.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Lilji.
Thank you. I'd just like to echo a lot of the things that I was excited to hear, the talk of systems. I thought he had an excellent answer to the question about what's the biggest barrier to student performance. with systemic racism, systemic classism. I know I'm repeating myself. I just feel strongly about, I mean, I'm repeating things that other people have already said. I just feel these things strongly. I think I could like feel again, even through the Zoom screen, the sense of energy and passion that is there. It feels like his whole heart and soul, you know, wants this job, wants Lansing, wants, and I actually, the last time around, I will share one thing. I did his reference checks, and I did hear a little bit about why Lansing. So there is some good reason there that I won't say any more about. But, and just I appreciate the innovation and creativity, which actually brought up a wonder for me that he then answered in the question about his failures. So when you talk about being innovative and doing things differently, you know, I wondered about, well, how's that going to go over? And then he talked about a time when it didn't go over so well and how, you know, he learned from that he needs to slow down and take care of people whose cultures may be steeped in the way things are now, instead of just zapping a change onto people without making sure that they are bought in and are coming along. I love that he's been paying attention to us. I did have like one other slight wonder about the budget process question. I felt like it was a little bit of a general answer about how to budget. So thank you for letting me restate some things.
Absolutely. Thank you. President Lawrence.
Add one thing in particular that I really liked. He talked about how to make district residents keep their kids in the district. That's huge. I wonder if he will make CTE a priority, because it needs to be a priority. I also wonder if he's as good a listener as he is a talker. I'm a talker too. I get it, but
We know it.
an opportunity to work on my listening skills as well.
Thank
I'm
you.
done.
Trustee Moore.
I can ditto what a lot of my colleagues have said, but I do want to point out what really stood out to me was the fact, his statement when he says he believes all students will succeed, and how he served in, you know, at the different schools and the type of students that he served. Sometimes I think we can forget about the students that aren't our A students, our B students, but our failing students, our underrepresented students. And I really saw how he was passionate about making sure they had everything that they needed. I don't mean to point my pencil, I'm sorry. They have everything that they need to succeed. And I think that's important. Why? Because I live on the South Side. Why? Because I see the kids roaming around this area. Why? Because my children, they have friends. So I'm looking at a parent at this lens also, but I think that's very important. And I liked how he brought that to the table. And then I also liked how he talked about accountability. I didn't hear a lot of that with our other candidates. Accountability, being accountable, because we are accountable to each other, right? So those are the things that stood out to me. And that's all I have to share. I didn't have any wonders. My wonders were aligned with Dr. B, Nathan. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Trustee Hodgen. Trustee Hodgen, you'll need to unmute yourself.
Emi, te llaman.
Amparo, unmute yourself.
She has her hand raised in the attendee function. I wonder if she did that thing again where she's on twice and her device with voice is
I'm working
not.
on it.
No, she's on twice.
Yeah, I just added her other device as a panelist. So Ms. Hodgen, if you can try unmuting yourself again.
Yes.
Ms. Hodgen, we have an echo, so you'll need to try again. If you've turned down the volume on one of the devices, maybe we'll be able to hear you. Ms. Hodgen?
No, can you hear me?
Ms. Hodgen, we can't listen when it's echoing like this.
Well, I'm sorry.
Ms. Hodgen, if you can turn down the volume on your other device or just use one device, then maybe we'll be able to understand what you're saying.
Hello?
Jay, maybe we can move on and come back to Ms. Hodgen if she can figure out her technical difficulties.
Okay. Trustee Willis, Vice President Willis, sorry.
It's okay, and I really didn't want to go last.
Amy, we cannot listen if you're going to have an echo like that. You will have to come down to one device or turn down the volume on your other device.
I was gonna say, I really didn't want to go last because I also don't want to have to go first on the next one, but that's fine. I'll suck it up. Okay, so I just had a couple positive things that I felt were worth just lifting. The vision of believing that all students can succeed, he highlighted that a lot, and specifically to Dr. Body's point about mentioning that addressing structural barriers and recognizing that bigotry or disenfranchisement, and that's my word, but essentially that's what he said, disenfranchisement across the system of education can lead to reduced student achievement. So I really like that he lifted that. He also talked about being approachable and that being a key way that he wanted to be seen as leader. And I think he backed that up a lot in the answers he gave about wanting to be approachable. So I liked that. He talked a lot about building diverse teams. And that leads me to my wonders. He specifically said he wanted to bring a diverse team to Lansing. And I just have a lot of questions about that because we've talked a lot as a board about wanting to maintain the team that we have while having diverse voices and input and all of that is very important. I just need to know more about what he means by saying bring a diverse team to Lansing. And then just honing in on that why Lansing and why back to K-12 in this role, in this capacity. So we talked a little bit about how his current role supports some K-12 work, but even in reading his 4-page letter of intent, which I wrote brevity and reining it in as some things that maybe need to be worked on. In that 4-page letter of intent, I still couldn't quite hone in on why back to K-12 and why Lansing.
Okay. Any other comments on Mr. Schuldiner? Okay. I did send out a third batch of surveys to you, and I've not seen any additional since then. So let's move on in our discussion to our 7 o'clock interview, which was Dr. Chapman. So I'll tell you what, to take Vice President Willis off the hook, I will take volunteers for who would like to start. Okay, Trustee Lilje.
Thank you. Okay, one of the first things that Dr. Chapman said, I am qualified to lead Lansing School District because of Lansing School District. And, that she has been grown here. And obviously, I think her greatest strength is her demonstrated long-term commitment and investment in the school district, and her track record of rising through the ranks and rising to do what is asked of her. She's methodical, she's organized, she's articulate. I appreciated her discussion about cultural competence and, acknowledging one's own bias. I appreciated that it was important to her to deal directly with the things going on in the world with the unfortunate deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, that was brought specifically, to the leadership. And I think she's super strong with the budget and just really appreciate her. Always have had a lot of respect for her. I have two wonders. One is about like the details of the plan to deal with disengagement and absenteeism. I think that we have been trying to make our classrooms really welcoming for a long time, and it's still not working for many, many students. So I wonder about the details of that, how we're going to improve upon that. I also wonder about her formality. She's one of the things I love so much about her is her, the level that she brings herself to. I have really appreciated seeing her engage, in public forums in the past. She's got a level of grace and formality. And I wonder about that in terms of creating the types of really personal relationships that are needed sometimes to get resources to do the political part of the job. So that's all I got, Dr. Chapman.
Thank you. Let's see. We'll skip around a little bit. How about Dr. Rodriguez?
I can do it. Thank you. I want to start with the disengagement, and I think she's all right in that. Then that's maybe one of the things we had to, as a board member, to address in the future meeting. But she gave us a good reason why our students are not achieving the way that they should. I enjoy it. She explained. She used few minutes in telling me about her and so many years of service in the Lansing School District, starting as a sub and now be a candidate for superintendent. I think that was a very, very good move for her part, because we need to know her. And sometimes because we only know about her responsibilities in the last few years, we forgot all the many other things that she was doing. I can see also in all her answers, especially at the beginning, when she used more time, the science mind, the science mind. And telling us that when she is going to make a decision, it's going to be in facts. We are going to find out everything. We are going to consult everything, but I am going to make a decision according to what I know it. And I think the magnet school, the time she spent in the magnet school is a plus for her as a career educator. A vision of the purpose. That's a beautiful way to definition of the vision. Vision of the purpose. And in that way, she explained to us the CTE and all the things that she was doing for the CTEs. Unfortunately, she used the word you all the time, and she didn't use the pronoun I, but this okay. Um, I think that she said the visibility is required and didn't explain more about what that means. Also mentioned the recruitment and detention. And I like that about the recruitment, and because like she wants to open the door to a new way to recruit people in the Lansing School District. And I think that is something that maybe is part of the vision that she is having. And also to find always who is the best qualified. And one of the samples that she used was the showcase, and how the showcase was a success because she always tried to find the best people to do the job. I think that is all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Vice President Willis.
Good, thanks. I want to be right in the middle of the pack. Thank you for that. So pros, of course, this was mentioned, the homegrown, and she really gave a lot of, Dr. Chapman really gave a lot of examples of supporting, building relationships with the community, and great examples with supporting students, parents, and caregivers, and lifted the graduation program change and the showcase. I like that she highlighted those as some of her strengths. Wonders, I really would be just curious about capacity to be in charge of it all. She gave really good examples of projects and being really driven to lead and see through project changes. And as they have been, what's the word? Given to her to lead, and she gave really good examples of how she had followed through with projects. I would just be curious to see what it will look like when she's taking a step back and directing all of the projects and not necessarily having to lead them directly.
Okay. Dr. Body?
Thank you. So on the pro side, I just want to express a sincere gratitude to her many years of service at the school district. That was very evident in her answers. She really does her utmost best to do what's right for our children. And regardless of how this turns out, we owe her a great deal of gratitude for all of the good things, great things that have happened in the district during her tenure. I wonder about kind of the same thing that Rachel wonders about. I also wonder about the political side of the job, or the politician side of the job, and what that would look like in how she would deal with external stakeholders, business leaders, the mayor, other state elected officials, etc. So those are my thoughts.
Okay. Let's see, Trustee Moore.
I'm glad you selected me to go after Dr. Body. Dr. Body, thank you for that statement about Dr. Chapman. I really don't have much to report. I did like the fact that she really talked about having people, having a seat at the table, but I didn't gauge much. It was, and that's just where I'm at. I have to be honest. I'm not gonna give you fluff if I don't have anything. and I truly don't. Her work in the district is phenomenal. I appreciate her loyalty. I do. And I'm really wondering what the team would look like if there was somebody else in the role of superintendent and she was there, or how would that look? What would that look like if she got the position, would there still be a deputy superintendent or no? Or it would be? So somebody would need to fill her position, right? Okay. I don't have anything for you. I don't have anything for you for Dr. Chapman, and I hope that's okay. I can ditto what other trustees have mentioned.
Yep,
But
that's absolutely fine. Thank
you.
you very much. Dr. Burrows?
I don't have a lot to say either. I think her experience in the district is fantastic. It's really, like, on paper, it's exactly the experience you would want for someone. I think she's someone, in terms of the internal running of the district, she's got all of the experiences that you want. Like some of my colleagues, I think about that sort of media management side. She's a person of incredible dignity, personal dignity, which really carries over in person. And so I think that, that's it's sort of the TV irritating side of it, with the really crisp answers. Like, I was watching her and I was like, I really want her to take a media training class because I think it would really help. So that's not really a wonder. It's an idea I had when I was watching. But that's all I have to say.
Okay. Trustee Hodges, are you able to join us?
And I don't know.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you very much. I was very impressed with her. I have admired her very much. I witnessed what happened during the magnet program that she referred to. I was very moved because she has been one of the people that I have admired in the district for many years. So that's all I have to say.
Okay. Do you have anything to say about the first candidate from tonight, Mr. Schuldiner?
I also admired him. I liked him. We interviewed him last year, and he loves education, as he said. It is his calling. He's been in New York, in India. That has been his calling, and he's done it well. So yes, very impressive, both of them.
Okay, thank you very much. And President Lawrence.
I think the word we've all been grasping for is elegance. Delsa just has an incredible amount of elegance. I also really admire her commitment to diversity and equity. Not only has she helped internally on the district's initiatives with diversity and equity, but I know that externally she also works with the city and works with other organizations. And I know she's very committed to that, and that's really important to us. I wonder if we need someone new. And I wonder, Dr. Chapman has been in a position of authority for a long time. And I wonder, there are areas that she's identified that are weaknesses in the district. I wonder why she hasn't already attempted to address them. That's all.
Okay. So my question to all of you now is, do you feel that you've had enough time
Jay,
to, yeah.
Guillermo.
would
Oh,
you
I'm
like
sorry.
to say anything?
I
missed somebody.
This is what happens when I go out of order, I miss somebody. I'm sorry, Guillermo. Yes, Trustee Lopez.
That's okay. Listen, the one thing, I was part of a committee way back with the magnet programs when they first brought it to Lansing, and shortly after she was involved in that. So I know her trajectory in the magnet program and schools of choice or choice schools. So yeah, I think we'll have a lot of respect and admiration for her. I liked what you talked about, the reimagining the school district with the pandemic. Thought that was very important for folks to understand that. I think she had a really huge role in that, even putting together the pieces of that. So It was impressive among all the other things that have been said. So the question is, do we need somebody from the outside since we have good candidates inside? And I've read some of the comments from the community, and it seems that some had said, we need somebody to come who's new and has different ideas. So I guess that's going to be our charge to balance that out. But I liked her, she's a known quantity and quality. So we'll have to move from there. The wonders is, can she handle the whole, enchilada, in other words, of the district?
Okay. Thank you. Any further words on Dr. Chapman from anybody tonight?
Me, can I talk?
Yes.
I love the fact that she's bringing back in full force, because she did that years ago again, the city program as it was. We desperately needed all children, especially needs. So I was very impressed when she said that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so as I was saying, my question to all of you is, do you feel that you've had adequate time to look over the survey responses that I've given to you, or would you like a few minutes to look over those right now before we have further discussion? What are your feelings there?
Jay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I've looked at your emails, and the last one that you sent has stuff from yesterday as well. Have you sent all that you have from tonight?
Let's see. Okay, last one I sent you. The last one I sent you was at 8:07.
Right.
And those all appear to be from tonight. There should be 24 pages.
All right. Okay.
I'll be honest. We have had hundreds of pages of feedback to try to digest in the last 24 hours. And even though I've had a chance to peruse them, I have not had a chance to make notes of any substance out of them. And I would ideally like some more time to digest that and cross it with my notes. And so I'm wondering if we could have a more substantial conversation about second round, perhaps tomorrow. I don't know if that's permissible, President Lawrence.
I second that motion.
We can certainly do that if that's the will of the board.
Yes.
I also want to give people more time to get feedback in, because we kind of gave the first group of 24 hours, and it'd be nice to give that to the second group, so everybody's kind of on the same level.
I'm seeing a lot of nods. Should we add this to the agenda for tomorrow night?
Yes.
Okay. Jay, is that okay with you?
That's fine.
Okay.
No problem at all. Okay.
Then everyone, you should expect an updated agenda for tomorrow night.
So I will try to take a look at the surveys again at some point, a couple different times tomorrow throughout the day, and I will send them to you if I see any more come in. I haven't seen any come in since the last batch I sent you at 8 o'clock, but I do see an email here that says that the interviews are going to be posted
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. So what I'll do is I'll go back into the survey and I will add the names for the 3 candidates from Tuesday night as well, because I deleted those and just replaced them with the 2 tonight. So I'll add the other 3 to it. So if anybody coming into the survey tomorrow after watching the interviews tomorrow morning, they'll have an opportunity to give you any feedback on the first 2 candidates as well.
Can we agree to close the feedback tomorrow at noon to give everyone time to compile and absorb? Okay.
Absolutely.
John McGraw, I hope you heard that. Tomorrow at noon, it will be closed.
Yep, I will close it on my end as well. And so then nobody, even if they have the link, they won't be able to get into it. I'll close that at noon, and then I will send you that last batch tomorrow at noon. Let me make it myself.
Perfect.
So the other thing, and I guess we can just talk about tomorrow night, is so just be thinking about how you want to organize logistically interviews for next week. I assume we're still going to stick to Thursday night next week.
Yes. If we could, I think we can start a little bit of conversation about that right now. We will be able to have board members and candidates present in the boardroom. Can people just indicate, and this is not binding, but can you just raise your hand and indicate if you are anticipating being here in person?
I will.
Nathan, no. Robin, no. Okay. Okay. And again, if you change your mind, that's okay. I just kind of wanted to get an idea of how that would look. And I think that will be doable, and it might look a little strange because we're going to be as spread out as possible. And anyone who does not want to come in person, you are more than welcome to participate virtually from home, of course. Jay, are we narrowing the field to 2 or 3?
Well, preferably 2.
Okay.
I
That would be
suggest 3.
I would like 3.
I think some of it may come down to, whether or not we have 3 strong of the 5, and we won't know that until we have a discussion about it. If we only have 2 clear, then I don't know that it makes sense to bring back a third. If we are, strong on 3, then we can bring back 3 for sure.
Okay. That's
Can I
fair.
ask a process question? Are we planning to recommend our second round choices very similar to how we got down to the first round choices? Are we just going to vote, or are we going to have additional substance discussion?
So we can have some additional discussion for sure. And then what I'd like to do is, if you come in tomorrow and just kind of have an idea of where these 5 candidates kind of rank in your order of preference. So who you think is your top candidate, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth. And then once once I poll everybody and get that, then that will give me an idea as to, where we think our strongest candidates are.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Can I suggest we use approval voting rather than rank ordering? Because I know for myself, I don't have, it's going to be very difficult for me to have a hard rank order, whereas I would feel more comfortable saying this is the 2 or 3 that I'm comfortable with. These are the ones I'm less comfortable with.
Okay. We can talk about that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So logistically for next week, just remember that we're limited to 25 in the room. And then you are encouraged to then create an overflow space with a video monitor for another 25. And then you can also, and because we'll have 2 members via Zoom, then we can also put it out via Zoom as well. And so that should meet all the requirements that have been put forth.
I might need to check with someone else on this, but my inclination was to just have board members, the candidate, and probably you, if you want to, present in person, and not open it to the public to attend in person. Is that okay? It will be available via Zoom and broadcast as well.
If you'd like, I would be comfortable and checking with our counsel on that and
Okay.
see what Brad has to say on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, board, any further questions or items tonight?
Okay, I just confused myself, but tomorrow we're meeting virtually, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Stay home tomorrow. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, the new directives do not take effect until Friday. Okay, so tomorrow we'll come in having read over all of the survey materials and ready to have a discussion about who we'd like to bring back for next round. Okay? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Anything else for me tonight?
Thanks, Jay. See you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Okay, I will see you tomorrow night.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from board members this evening? Okay. With no further business before the board for today at 8:46, we are adjourned. I will see everyone on their screens from home at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.